Hello and welcome to the Red5 Developer Series. My name is Dominic Agatato and I'm the CTO and one of the founders of Red 5. In this tutorial we're going to be building a live publisher subscription application. Could also be called a two-way live application. It's used in video conferences or just when you just want to publish your webcam to someone else. So we'll go into the source folder and we'll create a new XML application called live video example. And we're going to listen for the Flex Creation Complete event. Okay. Now the first thing you want to do is think about which classes you're going to be dealing with, and we're going to set those properties up. So I've got some comments here. We're going to need some network-related properties, device properties. We're going to have video objects, and we're going to have to wrap those video objects inside of UI components so that the Flex framework can display them. So in terms of the network properties, we have a connection property. Oops. And that's of type netConnection. We're also going to have two netStream properties. One's going to be an incoming netStream, and one's going to be an outgoing. So create those up. In terms of devices, we have two that we're going to deal with right now. We're going to create a camera, and we're going to create a microphone. Okay, so for the video objects, we're going to need one to display the incoming video and one to display the outgoing video. So we'll create two video objects. Okay, and like I mentioned, you can't actually add a video object directly to a Flex display list or a Flex UI component framework. So we're going to create two wrapper objects, and they're going to be of type UI component. Okay. So inside of our creation complete handler, we're going to first set up our connection code. And we're going to connect to an RTMP string, which is pointing at our localhost server. And we set that up earlier in a previous tutorial. And it's going to be the application context called myapp. And then we're going to set up our connection event listener. And we'll have an event handler called onConnected. Okay, so in the onConnected method, our function, we have the event object being passed in, and what that holds is a property that tells us whether we successfully connected. So we'll say event, and it's got the info object in there, and the info object actually has a code property, and if it's equal to netConnection.connect.success, well, then we can tell that we have successfully connected to our Red5 server application, and we can then call our setup code. Okay. And again, I've got some comments that will help us type out our code. Inside of our setup video function, we're going to be doing a number of things. One of them is going to be setting up the outgoing devices. Another is going to be setting up the outgoing streams, setting up the outgoing video objects and detaching the outgoing devices. And then we start doing the incoming streams and the incoming video objects. And then finally we're going to wrap those video objects and display them. So let's do that right now. So the first device is the camera object. And the thing you should know about the camera object is that it has a static function called getCamera, and the default argument you could leave as null. However, when you start to do device detection functionality, you'll actually have to create something that will loop through the list of camera names and figure out which camera is the one that has live activity. For now, though, we're going to leave it as default, and we're going to move on to microphone. So microphone is also a class that has a static function called getMicrophone, and we'll leave that as the default. And we can move on to setting up our outgoing streams. So we'll say outstream equals new. New net stream, sorry. And you're going to pass in the connection object, and it needs that to be able to associate its stream with that connection. So you could obviously create a number of streams and associate them with different connections. And then we're going to attach our camera and our microphone. So we'll pass in our camera object to the attach camera function, and then we're going to also call attach audio and pass in our microphone. And the last thing we want to do is we want to call the publish function, which is going to take a name or a string of the stream name we want to publish out on. So let's just call this Stephanie. And that should be good for our outgoing stream code.